What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about this Stellar Blade demo. Now, I do want to start off just in the beginning. I was not able to get the thing. I saw it. I saw the tweet, and I do think, actually, if I downloaded it when I actually saw the tweet, I would have had it on my PlayStation. Now, I guess the chain of events was you could download it, and then eventually they locked that part down, right? You couldn't download it anymore. And then it was when you were playing it, they actually locked you out of playing it. But from the looks of things, the demo's about an hour. You know, I guess if you die in certain parts, maybe you could stretch it a little bit, but it's around 1 hour long. But yeah, I regret that. Because I saw the tweet, I just didn't act. My PlayStation's over there. I just didn't act fast enough. But what I do want to do, I want to talk a little bit about, are we going to get the demo, eventually back? I also want to talk about what I've heard about, what I've seen, because people are posting it. So let's talk about it. So, okay, number one, is the demo going to come back? I mean, I think absolutely, right? I think. And what I was so surprised, because I thought there was a lead up. I opened Twitter. I didn't open it since early on this morning. Opened it up, saw, some of the news kind of accounts say, hey, Stellar Blade demo dropped. And I was thinking, oh, I must have just missed the PlayStation tweet, right? Because PlayStation probably announced it. So they're tweeting it. Okay, well, I can wait because I'll play it tonight. I'll do it later, and then we'll go. Well, turns out, no, it was like shadow dropped because it was by accident, right? So shadow dropped. Again, they shut everything down. There's no way that it was by mistake. It's a fully complete demo that's a couple different parts. No, it's early on in the game. At least one part is, right? You fight a boss to end it. You get a little bit of some cutscenes, a couple big cutscenes. You get a lot of combat. You start to understand what the game is going to feel like. You see the skill trees, and I want to. These are kind of the elements I want to talk about as this video goes. It's a full-fledged demo, right? Like, they didn't do this by accident. They put it up, I guess, early on accident, but this is something that I don't know if you wait till, here's what's going to happen, in my opinion. It's either going to be put online, like, tomorrow, but, see, weekends are tough for big corporations. Like, I don't actually know. It's either going to be tomorrow, or it'll be, like, Monday. First thing Monday, there'll be a PlayStation blog, or whatever it is, and they'll say there's a Stellar Blade demo. And it's like, okay, well, everybody already saw it, and some people played it, right? Okay, so there's that. I do think we're going to get it. I think we'll get it probably Monday at the latest. In terms of the demo itself, what's tough, and I probably will do another video once the demo comes out, once I can actually play it, because I do recognize this, and I try to say this in a lot of my videos. Looking at gameplay and playing it are different. Sometimes it can be not misleading, but you can't fully experience it, right? You don't really know how the game feels unless the controller's in your hand. I guess that's the way I'm trying to say it. So the game looks good, and the people that are talking about the combat and the responsiveness and comparing it to Nier, comparing it to Devil May Cry, right? These kind of comparisons, I believe them because it looks like it. I just want to get, I want to get my hands on the controller and say, okay, how does it feel to swipe, the sword, to slash? How does it feel to block? How does it feel to parry? I've seen conflicting things with blocking and parrying, but it generally looks good. I've had a couple friends, on Twitter and stuff, they've reached out and they say, hey, this thing's really good. I trust them. I trust these people. So I think it's good. And to take it one step further, this is exactly what I wanted, right? What did we talk? We talked about this maybe even yesterday, right, in a video. A lot of this game has been made about Eve. And I get it. And, it makes sense. And they've leaned into it. We've talked about that, too. They've leaned into her looks hard. It's not what every developer out there is doing. In fact, most aren't doing it. I think they know that. And I think they're pushing it harder than you probably would, right? And I get that. And I have said before, is this game going to succeed because of Eve and the sexuality, how everything, or is it, it's fine if it does, but can it also succeed because of how good it is? Like, will it feel good? Will the story be compelling? Will the characters be good? Honestly, this demo is the first step, if nothing else, than the combat, because I've seen a lot on the demo, it features a lot of combat, features the boss, features enemies, but it looks really fun. And again, those comparisons to DMC or Nier and stuff, look, some of that stuff we've heard, and actually that goes into the skill tree. We saw the skill tree. You can level up a few things, right? The way people were describing kind of this simple formula, right? The game in the beginning here, in this demo, it feels kind of simple, but it feels like it's building to something more complex. Well, when we've covered, as I've tried to cover as much of the news on this game as I can in these different interviews, they've talked about that. We've gone over that, right? They talk about the game's going to evolve, not like live service, but you're going to play the game differently in the beginning when your skills are limited, literally skills in the game, and I guess maybe even your own, versus the end of the game, when, or towards the end, right, when you're more powered up and you have different, things at your disposal, not necessarily weapons, but just tactics, right? So they have said, so I guess what I'm building to, they're backing up, number one, they're backing up what they said with now we can play it, and you can kind of see it. You can see the simplicity, but a little bit of the strategy that's there, right, and the potential for more, right, as it goes, which they talked about, and now you're seeing. And then it also, again, proves the point of, can this, I mean, I guess it doesn't prove the point because it is just a demo, but it's starting to show, okay, the game might sell more copies, or, I think it's going to sell more, but, can it sell more just because of the looks of some of the characters? I think so. Is the game going to have things more than that? Not that that's bad. Again, like, I know people are into it, and I'm totally cool with it. But is it going to have more to it than that? And I've always been on the side of, yeah, the game looks good. I like what they're doing with these characters, and I think the game, even from the earlier stuff, the game looks legitimately good. The gameplay looked interesting and fun. And I said that years ago, when this thing was shown off. So I stand by it. And now, as we're starting to see it, it's like, okay, yeah, there is some stuff there. Now, I didn't watch, I honestly, I don't know, if the demo comes out, obviously I'll catch up on the lore and stuff. I didn't see much of the story content. I tried to listen a little bit to their voice acting, because I remember when they showed the most recent breakdown, the longer trailer, I liked their voices, but I wasn't convinced fully on if it would be consistent and if everything would kind of work. From what I heard, it sounded fine. There's not too many conversations from what I saw in the demo, but some of the bigger cutscenes, some of the not full-blown cutscenes, but more the game is still it's you can kind of skip through the dialogue, right? Some of that stuff looks good, and also sounds okay. Everybody sounds like they're not phoning it in or anything. So I'm impressed. I'm honestly really impressed, and again, I regret not doing it because I have had faith that the story and stuff could be solid, and I thought that the gameplay would be good, but I've never been able to try it out. So hopefully it gets unlocked. I think it will for all of us, and like I said, if it does, I'll do maybe a follow-up with, okay, here's what I really think about the gameplay itself. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.